The clock is ticking, but not in the way you think. While most people waste years believing it's too late, the winners know one secret. Your comeback starts the moment you decide it does. Today, we're exposing the 3 biggest myths about age and success that are holding you back. You think your time has passed? Think again. The world is full of people who started over when everyone said it was too late. Age is just a number, not a limit. But most people don't see it that way. They believe there's some magic cutoff where dreams become impossible. That's not how it works. Your potential doesn't disappear because you've lived more years. Take Colonel Sanders. At 65, he was broke. He lived off Social Security checks. But he had a fried chicken recipe people loved. He didn't think, "I'm too old for this." He knocked on doors, got rejected over 1,000 times, and built KFC. By the time he sold the company, he was a millionaire. That didn't happen because he was young. It happened because he started. Science backs this up. Your brain keeps changing no matter how old you are. Neuroplasticity means you can learn new skills at any age. One study showed adults in their 60s and 70s learning to code just as well as younger people. It's not about how old you are. It's about how much you practice. Then there's Vera Wang. She was a figure skater first, then a magazine editor. At 40, she decided to design wedding dresses. People told her it was too late to break into fashion. She didn't listen. Now, she's one of the most famous designers in the world. Her brand dresses celebrities and royalty. She didn't need youth to make it happen. She needed courage to start. Success doesn't have an expiration date. Research shows most people hit their peak productivity between 40 and 60. That's when experience meets opportunity. You know more. You've seen more. You've failed enough to know what works. That's an advantage, not a setback. Your age doesn't define your potential. What you do today does. Every morning is a new chance to start. The only thing stopping you is the story you tell yourself. Change the story. Change your life. But it's not just about starting. It's about changing the world. Some people change the world early. Some take their time. That's the truth about late bloomers. Society tells you youth is everything. That if you haven't made it by 30, you're done. That's not how real life works. The most impactful people in history often didn't hit their stride until later. They weren't in a rush. They were building. Take Julia Child. At 50, she published her first cookbook. Before that, she worked in advertising, then as a spy during World War II. Cooking wasn't even her first career, but when she found something she loved, she went all in. She didn't care that most chefs start young. She made French cooking simple for Americans and changed how entire generations eat. That didn't happen because she was young. It happened because she showed up. Creativity doesn't fade with age. Research shows older brains have unique advantages. They spot patterns faster. They solve problems differently. Experience gives you a deeper well to draw from. When you've lived more, you see connections others miss. That's not a weakness. It's a weapon. Stan Lee proved that. At 40, he co-created his first hit comic. Before that, he wrote filler stories for years. He didn't break through until he stopped trying to copy what was popular and started telling stories his way. That's when Spider-Man, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four were born. The comic industry was never the same. He didn't need youth to be innovative. He needed the courage to trust his own voice. Experience fuels innovation. When you've failed before, you take smarter risks. When you've seen trends come and go, you know what's real. That's why late bloomers often create things that last. They're not dazzled by hype. They build for substance. Look around. The people changing things right now aren't all 20-somethings in hoodies. The average age of a successful startup founder is 45. Novelists often publish their best work in their 50s. Scientists make breakthroughs after decades in the lab. Greatness doesn't come from being first. It comes from being relentless. Youth gets all the attention, but wisdom gets results. The world remembers what you create, not how old you were when you made it. Your best work might still be ahead of you. You don't know what you're capable of until you try. Here's the truth. Timelines are lies. There's no rule that says you have to achieve by a certain age. Your story isn't on a schedule. The only thing that matters is that you keep going. Every day is a chance to start something that outlasts you. Greatness doesn't have a timeline. It has a work ethic. It has a willingness to learn. It has the guts to begin when other people would quit. You don't need youth. You need focus. Now, let's talk about how you can start your comeback today. Your comeback isn't something you wait for. It's something you start right now. Action is the only way to change your story. Waiting for the perfect moment? That moment doesn't exist. The only person holding you back is you. Excuses like, I'll start tomorrow, or I'm not ready yet, are just ways to delay what you know you need to do. Procrastination steals time. It tricks you into thinking you have more of it than you do. But the truth is, every day you wait is a day you could have been moving forward. Take small steps. That's how big changes happen. One study found people who set small, achievable goals were more likely to succeed than those who aim too high too fast. Start with one small step, then take another. That's how you build momentum. A woman named Sarah didn't wait to change her life. At 52, she wanted to run a marathon, but had never jogged a mile. She started by walking around her block, and she walked 2 blocks. A year later, she crossed the finish line. She didn't wait for motivation. She just started. Discipline beats motivation every time. Motivation feels good, but it's not always there when you need it. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It's about showing up even when you don't want to. Research shows habits built through consistent action are stronger than relying on fleeting inspiration. A writer named James didn't wait for inspiration to strike. He wrote 1 page every morning, no matter what. Some days it was hard. Some days the words didn't flow. But after a year, he had a book. That's the power of discipline. Consistency beats talent. Talent might get you noticed, but consistency gets you results. Angela Duckworth's research on grit proves this. Perseverance matters more than natural ability. A musician named Louis practiced his guitar for 30 minutes a day, even when he was tired. He wasn't the most talented in his class, but after 5 years, he was the one playing sold-out shows. Small actions add up. They compound over time. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. Growth starts when you step outside your comfort zone. Nothing great ever comes from staying comfortable. A man named Raj was afraid of public speaking, but knew it would help his career. He didn't wait until he felt ready. He joined a local Toastmasters group and forced himself to speak every week. The first time his hands shook. By the 6th month, he was leading meetings. Discomfort is where you grow. It's where you prove to yourself what you're capable of. Turn off the noise. Distractions steal your focus. Your phone, social media, the endless scroll, they take time you could be using to build something. Studies show even brief interruptions wreck productivity. A woman named Elena deleted social media apps from her phone for 30 days. In that month, she finished a business plan she'd been putting off for years. Focus isn't about having more time. It's about protecting the time you have. Action is what separates dreamers from doers. You don't need a grand plan. You just need to start. A teacher named Miguel always wanted to paint, but thought he wasn't good enough. One day, he bought a cheap set of brushes and painted a single stroke on a canvas. That stroke led to another. A year later, he sold his first piece. The hardest part is beginning. Once you do, the rest gets easier. Your future is decided by what you do today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. The only time you have is now. Now, let's wrap this up with one final thought. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to start. No more waiting. No more excuses. Turn off the distractions. Take that first step and make today the day you begin. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to move. Right now, commit to one action. Write that first sentence. Make that call. Sign up for that class. Small steps lead to big changes. Your story isn't over. It's just getting started. The world needs what you have to offer. Don't keep it waiting. Lock in. Focus. The time is now. Go.